Gatwick Airport's South Terminal, a flight from Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic has just landed. Vigilant UK Border Agency officers, with the aid of highly trained sniffer dogs, are always on the lookout for drug smugglers from the Caribbean. And one passenger has triggered great interest. The man's nervous behaviour has led to him being targeted. As he passes through the customs channels, Officer Michelle has been observing his body language.
Thank you.
She decides to intercept the passenger to ask him a few questions.
Hello, sir. You've got your passport on you, please. That's great. You've got your ticket as well. Any ticket? And where do you live, sir? In Holland? So how long are you here for? How long are you here in England for?
No, today I'm going to Holland.
Right, so you've been to Puerto Plata, come here, and from here you're going back to Holland, are you? When? When are you going back to Holland? Is it a flight from here or a flight from Heathrow?
From here.
All right, have you got the ticket for that?
Michelle keeps firing questions to find out if he's telling the truth.
No cigarettes at all, nothing like that. Okay, you also know it's illegal to bring any controlled drugs, weapons, explosives, etc. into the country, yeah? And these are your bags, are they? Did you pack your bags yourself? So you know what's inside them, do you?
The man's travel plans just don't seem right, and Michelle is becoming increasingly suspicious.
Just been out on a package holiday. Not staying with friends or anything, went out on his own. Works in a factory in the Netherlands. He's flying on back today. They're all right, aren't they?
The X-ray shows no concealments of drugs, but a concerned Michelle still isn't happy.
Sometimes we have a problem with people bringing drugs through on their bodies, okay? So therefore we just want to give you a rub down of your body, okay? But we won't do it here, we'll do it out the back, okay?
As the man's led away, there's a feeling his story just doesn't add up.
He only works in a factory in Holland, so it's obviously not really well paid. He's picked to go to Puerto Plata, which is an unusual place for someone to go. He's gone on his own, and he's booked it all last minute. He's got all the extras you can possibly have. So it makes his holiday very expensive just for 7 nights to go on his own. It's just bizarre, that's all. You just get feelings with some things, and it's just doesn't seem right.
In a dramatic turn, the man is taken for a full body scan to find out if he's smuggling drugs inside his body.
Do you want anyone else to be here? No?
To be told you're here with us.
You are entitled to read that if you wish, but obviously...
Michelle is about to discover whether her instinct is correct.
The other way, sorry. Yeah, if you stand like this, that way. Yeah?
Yeah.
Go up onto the side, onto travelator. If you can breathe in as well, that will help us.
Ready, breathing. Try and hold.
As he holds his breath, the man's fate hangs in the balance. His day is about to get a lot worse.
100%.
He's stuffed with packages of drugs.
Okay, sir. From what we can see on the X-ray, looks like you have packages inside you. Time is 08:53 hours. I'm arresting you on suspicion of being involved in the importation of a controlled drug. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something that you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand that? Okay, sir.
He's got little packages which will probably be condoms full of cocaine, and now literally we've got to take him down, get him custodised, and then he needs to concentrate on getting those packages out because he doesn't realise, you know, if one of those burst or leaked, it could cost him his life.
At Gatwick's North Terminal, a flight has just arrived from Dubai, a country outside the European Union with widely available cheap cigarettes. Officers have been alerted by immigration to a man waiting at the luggage carousel. He collects the last of his cases and proceeds straight through the nothing-to-declare customs channel. Officer Paul stops the passenger to ask a few questions.
Hiya, can I cut word, please? Hi, are you travelling on your own?
Yeah.
Do you have your passport with you, please? It's just Dubai you've been to, is it? What was the reason for your trip?
I was just going to travel.
To Dubai?
Yeah, like a nice place.
What do you know about Dubai then? Just hot.
You
You haven't got a ticket?
No.
How much does the ticket cost you? Did you book your own ticket? When did you book it?
Friday.
Right, how much does it cost you then?
Can't remember.
You didn't book it, did you?
No.
Right, who booked it?
I don't know.
Right, you travelling with somebody else?
No.
Where do you actually live?
Newcastle.
How are you getting back to Newcastle?
Coach.
Coach.
Having already exposed a lie, Paul is wary of anything the man says.
The green channel. Do you understand what the green channel means?
No.
Right, have you been abroad before?
Just to America.
To?
America.
Okay, when you go abroad, you're allowed to bring back certain goods.
Yeah.
Certain cigarettes, for instance. One bottle of spirit.
I got cards in the bag.
How many have you got?
I'm not sure. That's for the last one.
And that one?
A little bit in the bottom.
How much do they cost you?
Tabs are slang for cigarettes, and the man's confession doesn't impress.
Have you ever dealings with customs before?
No, not really. Popping the wrong back.
What happened?
I got deported.
Why was that? Sorry?
I took some back across.
You took cat across?
Yeah.
Cat is an East African stimulant, which is often chewed. Whilst legal in the UK, it's banned in America.
How much money did you take out with you?
Yeah. £100, £200.
Who paid for these then?
What?
Who paid for these?
No.
Who paid for them then?
Somalians.
Somalians again?
Paul becomes aware that the Somali who paid for the cigarettes is likely to be at the airport to pick them up.
What's the name of the chap that you have to speak to on the phone?
Well,
what was the last name?
Mohammed.
Mohammed.
Yeah.
He's Somalian. Okay. He's out there somewhere, and there's a fair chance there's another one with him because they never ever travel on their own, so he's going to be with. Yeah. He might have suitcases already. Yeah. All right.
Cigarette smugglers often work in pairs, and officers realise there may be a chance of locating another smuggler as well as the recipient of the cigarettes.
How much did you get paid for doing this?
£200.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Mind you get a holiday out of it?
What?
You get a holiday out of it?
I didn't think.
What do you do?
Nothing. I had a car crash a couple of months ago, and I need to raise £3,000 excess reinsurance. So it's just in case I make money
There you go. So you want benefit?
Yeah.
Back at the airport's South Terminal, the Dutch drug smuggler who risked his life to bring packages of drugs into the UK is being taken into custody. He's made aware of his rights by the custody officer, and for his own safety is told to get the packages out of his system as quickly as possible.
Basically, when people have an internal concealment, to make sure we can see if they produce anything, we change them into what we call a white paper suit, and then we can see if there's anything happening, and underneath they'll be completely naked.
The man indicates he needs to go to the toilet, but this is no ordinary toilet trip, and this is no ordinary loo.
So he's gone into the special toilet facility where if he starts producing packages, they then have to be cleaned up by the officer who's gone in with him, and then they'll be bagged up as well. So just waiting for him to come out to see if he has actually produced any.
Yeah. The gentleman said he needed the toilet, and while I haven't counted them at the moment, it looks like he's produced around 20 packages, and he's told the custody officer he's got 60 something. So obviously the quicker they're out of his system, the best chance he's got of survival, basically.
The process of washing the packages is a very dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
If one of the packages were to split, basically ends up with death within minutes, unfortunately. So that is why we try and get packages out of people as quickly as we possibly can, because the consequences of a burst package are pretty serious.
With the packages washed, Officer Paul must bag them up and weigh them to find out what quantity of drugs the man was carrying.
Definitely big packages. 344 grams of cocaine so far. If you take away a little bit for the packaging, etc., it's probably about 300 grams. 1 kilo nowadays is worth around £50,000. So he's probably carrying about £50,000 worth of drugs with him. packages here. They're now seized from you, okay? And they're all yours. Obviously, okay?
The Dutchman pleaded guilty to smuggling cocaine and was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison. Further inquiries resulted in another arrest. Coming up, Officer Paul is proved right as the border agency apprehend 2 more cigarette smuggling accomplices.
I'll tell you, right, I'll give you £200 if you bring 2 suitcases and cars back through.
Coming up, in Bristol, one man's sweet-talking gets him nowhere.
What's the name, mate?
It's sweets.
Yeah, it's cannabis, isn't it?
Back in Gatwick, Officer Paul has intercepted a surprisingly candid Geordie cigarette smuggler. Other officers attempt to track down the Somali recipient of the cigarettes, called Mohammed. They find another Geordie lad who also confesses to having smuggled cigarettes. He then tells the officers where they can find the elusive Mohammed.
We've come out looking for a Somalian, obviously, but my colleague stopped another lad who was a Geordie as well. In the end, he did cough to being met by Mohammed, who he said has just walked out to the car hole. So we've given chase and stopped the car here. It's got 3 cases full of cigarettes.
It's a job well done by the officers. But after seizing the illegal cigarettes, Mohammed, the ringleader of the operation, is free to go.
I'll tell you, right, I'll give you £200 if you bring 2 suitcases and cars back through. And
Okay.
it's been skint and losing my job.
Yeah.
I thought, well, may as well.
Did you not think of the consequences?
Not really, because I'm on the phones now. Not out.
We got wife and kids at home. How many kids have we got? 3? Okay.
The other man from Newcastle is led back inside the airport to be reunited with his friend.
In these circumstances, what we'd normally do is just seize the cigarettes and the suitcases from them, and it stays on file. So if they get stopped again, then they'll get arrested and prosecuted for this offence and the next one. So they're very lucky, because if they'd got caught the second time with this amount of cigarettes, you're looking at a jail sentence. So from their point of view, they're quite lucky. So were you getting a flight back, or was the other chap driving you back to Newcastle?
We got paid when we got out.
You haven't been paid yet?
No, but probably not now.
With no money from the job, the lads now have another problem.
I was relying on the money from bringing the cigarettes through to get myself back home. Now I've got no money off cigarettes and no money to get myself home.
As they attempt to make the long journey up north, the 2 lads can rue the fact that their 40,000 cigarettes, with a street value of over £10,000, were intercepted.
Rather unlucky. In fact, my chap was particularly unlucky. He's only travelled abroad twice. 2 trips abroad, and twice he's been caught. He said he's not going to travel abroad again. I don't blame him.
At Bristol Airport, a flight has just landed from Malaga in Spain. Border agency officers working in immigration are alerted to a couple who've been acting suspiciously. A woman dressed in black and a man in a stripy jumper head to baggage reclaim. Officer Brandon decides to follow them to monitor their behavior.
We got 2 targets from Malaga. We'll put them on, just quick chat and check what they've got. You never know.
Brandon moves into position, ready to intercept the couple as they pass through the customs channels.
Hello, they're both customs. Just come through, please. You are together, yeah? How long have you both been away?
Oh, not a bit.
Yeah, how long?
Weeks, 2 weeks.
Okay. And where have you travelled whilst you've been away?
Oh, just around Spain, just in the Artis Costa.
Right. You've stayed in one place, or?
All around holidays, just normal.
Okay. Have you ever been stopped by customs before?
No.
Okay. Bags packed by yourselves? Everything in the cases belong to yourselves? Right. So where certain things aren't allowed to be brought into the UK, drugs, weapons, obscene material.
Yeah.
The man stares intently as his suitcase is searched. He then removes a mobile phone, which causes suspicion.
Can I just part of the check, yeah? That's fine.
He gets his phone back, but seems a little agitated. Then a package is found, which might explain why.
What's the name, mate?
It's sweets. Sweets. All sweets. For kids.
Right, now you'll open it up because you can't see what's in there. Go on.
But Brandon's not falling for that. He opens the package to check the contents himself.
Yeah, it's the sweets, is it? Yeah. It's cannabis, isn't it? Herbal cannabis. You're not sure? You said you packed the case yourself?
Yeah. Put everything in.
All right. But this time, all right, you're under arrest. All right? Right. Basically, you're both under arrest. You're both travelling together, okay? On suspicion of importing an illegal drug, controlled drug, all right? Now, you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention in question something you're too late to rely on in court. All right? Anything you do say, may be given evidence. Do you understand?
With both passengers under arrest, their cases continue to be searched. And it doesn't take long to find a number of identical packages.
How much you got in total, mate?
That's it, 4 seconds.
There's no respite for officers in Gatwick as another Caribbean flight arrives from Jamaica. Suspicion was raised by a German woman who claimed to have lost the key to the padlock on her suitcase. After forcing the case open, Officer Paul discovered that the woman was carrying a significant amount of cannabis.
Okay, so if you just stand up for me, put your hands out, you put the sunglasses down.
She's arrested straight away and put in handcuffs before being escorted to the airport's custody suite for further questioning.
Presently, we have the 25-year-old German under arrest in the custody suite. So whilst she's getting the rights read to her, she's waiting for a solicitor to turn up. What we do is go through all the luggage. This is obviously where the drugs were found initially. And interestingly, she's in the top of the suitcase. She or whoever put the drugs in there has put a lot of foam around the outside of the case and around the edges of the case.
With the suitcase stuffed to the brim, it's a huge amount of cannabis for one person to be carrying.
These are just 2 or 3 kilo blocks of herbal cannabis. And very little else.
The cannabis is bagged up. Paul needs to weigh the drugs to find out the severity of the woman's crime.
So that's 18.15 kilos. The suitcase weighed 23 kilos, so nearly the whole suitcase was cannabis. That'd be worth between 40 and 50,000 pounds.
It's another excellent find by officers. For the German woman, it's been a highly risky gamble that hasn't paid off.
A lot of them are single young females, and it doesn't surprise me anymore. We've had single young females, we've had old men of 70, we've had couples travelling together. You know, it's basically anybody that's short of money. Anyone that's desperate for money will do it for a couple of £1,000 or whatever else they've been promised.
The woman later pleaded guilty to smuggling cannabis and was sentenced to 9 months in prison. Back in Bristol, and with 4 packages of herbal cannabis found in a man's suitcase, the search now moves on to his wife. Almost immediately, Officer Brandon finds something hidden in the clothing. This time, he suspects it's cannabis resin. And, as with the man's case, there's more than just one package. The drugs have been crudely concealed in clothing, with little attempt to hide what's inside. As the last block is removed from the case, the couple know they've been caught red-handed.
There's 6 resin cannabis and 4 packages of herbal cannabis. I'm not sure weight at the moment. I understand what you're saying, but I can't at the moment, right?
The man should perhaps be more concerned about the illegal drugs found in his suitcase than having a cigarette. But tampering with the drug seizure will only get him in more trouble. As the couple are taken away for a full body search, officers are eager to find out how much they found.
2.68.
2.68 kilos of herbal cannabis and 5.48 kilos of cannabis resin adds up to a haul worth over £20,000. It's a huge amount of illegal drugs removed from the streets.
It has been adopted by a higher level team, if you like, within the department, and they usually only take on the larger cases. So we wait and see, but it is a substantial amount. There's no getting away from that.
It's been an excellent day for Brandon. Less so for the couple, who'll now be detained in custody. In court, the Bristol cannabis smugglers both pleaded guilty. At Gatwick Airport, a flight has just arrived from Antigua. Suitcases from the flight are unloaded and checked by sniffer dogs before passengers collect them in the terminal. One female passenger from the flight has raised suspicion. After passing through immigration, she was seen changing her clothes in the toilets. So UK Border Agency officer George has stopped her for questioning.
She actually changed outfits from when I saw her down by immigration when she was getting her passport swiped. When talking to her in the channels, she actually said that it's because she had a long journey and she had some soggy clothes which she needed to change out of. It's a suspicious activity. Normally people would just wait.
George carries out a routine search of the woman's bags.
When she went upstairs, I noticed that she had a carry-on holdall, which sometimes they can actually sneak drugs through their holdalls.
The holdall and its contents are taken away to be x-rayed. Officers will be looking for any hidden concealment. George continues his search of the woman's suitcase. The holdall gets the all clear, but the woman's laptop looks decidedly suspicious.
On the x-ray it's sort of uneven as it goes, and it shows that there may be something inside. Yeah.
With concerns there may be drugs hidden in the laptop, it's taken away to a workshop to be properly assessed.
Okay, what's happened, yeah, we've got a clear image and it shows.
It may seem brutal, but the only way to find out if it does contain anything illegal is to break it open. It looks like their hunch was right. Officers discover a package they suspect to be drugs, stuffed inside the laptop. A simple test will be able to confirm their suspicion. At Birmingham Airport, it's the start of a busy evening shift. A flight has just come in from Gran Canaria, and Officer Mike is scanning suitcases for excessive quantities of cigarettes.
We're x-raying the baggage through this felt scanner here, looking primarily for cigarettes or tobacco, but there is the chance we may find offensive weapons such as flick knives or throwing stars and things like that.
Passengers arriving back from Gran Canaria have a strict allowance of just 200 cigarettes.
Okay, that one's got some square shapes in that may indicate tobacco. We'll have another look at that one in a moment.
Having found a large quantity of cigarettes on the X-ray, Mike will be keen to ask the owner of the suitcases a few questions. A man in shorts and a blue jumper collects one of the bags from the luggage carousel, and as he proceeds through the Nothing to Declare channel, Mike steps in to intercept him.
Hello there guys, just step over this way a second. Just come over to the bench for me. Can we look at your passports please? Not travelling with anyone else? Not travelling with anyone else, no. Just been a family holiday, is it? Yeah, how long have you been away?
For days.
Yeah. Where to?
Gran Canaria.
Okay. Whose name was it booked in? Who actually did the booking?
Scott.
I thought you said you weren't with anyone else.
No, 3 of us. I didn't even know that.
Oh right, so you were travelling with these people, yeah?
Yeah, when you
right.
said 2 adults.
Well no, I did say if you travel with anyone else and you said no. But it's not a problem, okay. Yeah, you know what you can't bring in? Drugs, guns, knives, weapons, adhesive material, stuff like that? Yeah, okay. You wear the cigarette restrictions from Gran Canaria? I can tell by the face. Okay, not sure. Okay, something you want to tell me?
Yeah.
Cigarettes? Okay, how many have you got?
I genuinely don't know.
You don't know?
Genuinely.
Do you know how many you're allowed to have? No? 200? One sleeve, one packet? Have we gone bust?
200 sleeves, I think so.
200 sleeves? Okay, I guess we better have a look then, eh?
The man confesses to being way over his allowance.
Who are they for? No. Fair enough, I appreciate your honesty, mate. First time you've been caught? First time you've been caught? First time you've done it? Last time was what I've done.
First time or not, it's going to be an expensive lesson.
Oh, dear me.
With 3 suitcases stuffed to the brim, the man could feasibly be arrested.
Are you going to be really happy about getting a answer?
Back at Gatwick, officers are about to run tests on a package they suspect to be cocaine, found in a woman's laptop.
We've pulled a package out from behind the screen. All he's doing now is splitting it to take a small sample, which we can test on this cocaine reagent here, so which will give us an indication as to what type of drug it is.
The reagent will turn blue if the substance is cocaine.
It is there.
With a positive identification for cocaine, the news is now broken to the woman.
Carried out an examination of your laptop, and we have found a white substance hidden behind the screen. We've carried out a field test for cocaine, which has come up positive. So the time is 10:19. We're arresting you on suspicion of being involved in the importation of a controlled drug. You do not have to say anything. I'm not. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you later rely on in court. Do you understand?
As she's led off for further questioning, officers take this opportunity to use the cocaine as a training aid for sniffer dogs.
We try and educate the dogs on live concealment because we can't replicate that. You know, they've spent a lot of effort to sort of hide that concealment in that laptop. We just can't do that with our training samples. So now the dogs, their sort of learning curves just shot right up.
With the game now well and truly up, the woman's attitude begins to change.
This is for Hillary.
She may be laughing now, but all that awaits her is an empty cell. Officers stay with the woman while her belongings are checked in, and she's informed of her rights. Meanwhile, George inspects the cocaine concealment further.
There's a lot of work which has gone into this. This would be actually considered a deep concealment. For a rudimentary way of trying to, I suppose, disguise it from an X-ray was by covering it in foil, but obviously it hasn't worked.
Right, just want to take your shoes off and put them here.
As the woman is checked into her cell, she starts to vent her frustration.
And if you do need us, in here. Just listen to me. Let us know if you need anything else.
Would you like to see the part of the blood to do with the film, right? You want to see that part?
That's it. She's getting a bit upset now. When she was stopped, even when her computer was being x-rayed and everything, she was quite calm. But everyone's different. Everyone reacts in different ways, so There is no way you can spot a drug smuggler, is it? They come in all shapes and sizes.
One thing left to find out is the weight of the drugs.
So that's coming in at around about 530 grams. So depending on its purity, it could actually be quite substantial.
With an estimated value of £25,000, it's been a very successful day for the officers. Less so for the woman, who will have plenty of time to contemplate her actions. Back at Birmingham, officers are counting the massive haul of cigarettes a man has brought back from Gran Canaria.
You did realise that there is a limit when you'd actually become an arrestable offence. Okay, and you're going to be close. It depends on the value.
The man's friend who booked the tickets is also carrying 3 suitcases full of cigarettes. It's now a question of what penalty they face.
You have 36,000. So rather impressive, 35,600 over the limit, because obviously the baby's not entitled to any. She's not yet 17.
With the man's friend also carrying a further 36,000, the total haul is just under the amount where they would have been arrested.
That one is a warning letter. No, obviously, as you know, you sailed very close to the wind this time, and there is no other sanction than seizure. Okay, there's no fine, there's no penalty, there's nothing else. The warning letter is there to say,
Don't do it again.
Don't do it again, because next time it may be more serious. Okay. Yeah.
It's a lucky escape for the 2 men, whose audacious attempt at smuggling cheap cigarettes would have netted them a profit of over £2,000 each.
Quite happy, did some checks on the people involved in both parties, and myself and my colleague were happy that they were first-time offenders from a customs point of view. Needless to say that the records will be maintained on them, and should they try and make another attempt, more punitive action may well be taken.
Coming up, a woman in Gatwick struggles to explain a high drug hit coming from her suitcase.
I've been seeing cocaine. I don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Coming up, one man gets a bit economical with the truth in Birmingham.
No arrested. No. You've never been arrested?
No.
Right. Well, our records show differently, sir.
At Gatwick Airport, a plane has just come in from Kingston in Jamaica, a known source area for illegal drugs. As the last of the passengers pass through the customs channels, officers stop a woman who's just arrived home in the UK. After a routine baggage search and an ion scan swab test of her suitcase, traces have been found for cocaine. Despite the woman's protest, the suitcase is taken away for further tests.
I've done an ion scan on the bag. I mean, she's adamant she hasn't come anywhere near drugs. She's adamant there's nothing in there, but I've got to find out why. I've got to read him for 2.55. So what do you do for a living?
I was writing for a magazine out there.
What does your partner do?
He's a musician. Yeah, what is the situation?
Well, I'm still getting readings for cocaine. So you said you're travelling with your partner. I need to have a chat with him as well to see if we can find out why we are getting the readings.
The woman starts to become agitated with the suggestion that she's been involved with cocaine.
I'm not saying you've got it. All I'm saying is at the moment...
There's no actual cocaine?
Well, I haven't found any, so that's good. But I still need to find out why I am getting these readings. It might be that your boyfriend will be able to throw some light on it. I don't know until I've spoken to him.
But if he can't throw any light on it, what's happened?
Well, at the moment, until I've spoken to him, I can't say what's going to happen.
Whilst waiting for the woman's boyfriend to arrive from immigration, officers become intrigued by some prescription drugs in the woman's hand luggage.
It's a strong medication. It certainly sounds it like that.
What if that could have set it off?
Pardon?
With questions to be answered, the woman's Rastafarian boyfriend is hurried through immigration. but he too is less than happy at the suggestion he's been involved with
And
cocaine.
it can happen from anything. You can have touched something that somebody else has
I
touched.
haven't touched nothing.
But you don't know that. You might have touched the, listen to me, you might have touched the airlines.
Just relax, yeah.
You can pick up traces of drugs from anywhere.
Yeah.
You can pick them up from train
Well,
seats, you can
she-
pick them up
yeah.
from airline seats, you can pick them up from being in nightclubs, pubs,
No, we're
bars,
not in
anywhere.
nightclub.
No, but this is what I'm saying to you. This is, you can pick traces of drugs up, okay? And that can then contaminate the contents of your suitcase.
Okay, well-
So what we need to do is we need to make sure that's all.
I'm a reggae artist, you know.
Okay.
And my wife not.
With neither passenger offering an explanation, further searches will be conducted to get to the bottom of the cocaine traces. It's the middle of the day at Birmingham Airport. A flight is due to depart to Dubai, and officers are using sniffer dogs to detect passengers carrying any quantities of cash.
Well, under the Proceeds of Crime Act 2002, anybody who's carrying more than £1,000, we're entitled to ask them about the origins of the money and what they intend to do with it.
Hello, so you're carrying cash on your body today? Yeah. Good boy.
We're trying to intercept criminal money going out before it commits a crime, before they go out to buy drugs, before they go out to buy cigarettes. So we hit them in the pocket where it hurts. None of us like losing our money.
If passengers can't provide evidence where the cash has come from or what it's going to be used for, officers have the power to seize the money and investigate the individual further.
We're going to search your bags over here.
Over here, yeah. Come this way.
A man waiting to board the flight to Dubai has been pulled over for questioning. He lives and works in the UK and claimed he was carrying just £1,000. On further questioning, he revealed he's actually carrying £4,000.
Did you pack this bag?
No pack.
Who packed the bag?
Yeah, I packed it.
You packed the bag.
I
Is everything in here, including the money, belongs to you?
Yes, belongs to
Okay.
me.
Just going to give your bag a quick check, sir, okay?
Yeah, it's
Do you have
okay.
any more money apart from the wallet?
Yes.
Any more money?
No, just...
You hold that money there, okay?
With the flight about to board, officers will have just minutes to decide what to do with the man and his cash.
Is this your coat?
Yeah.
Any money in the coat?
No.
No money in the coat?
No.
No money in the coat?
Change.
Some change?
I think it's £100 something like that.
There may be some down there.
Yeah.
I know there is, because it's there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's, I think
But you
it's,
said there was no
You
money
said there
there,
was no money
sir.
there.
No, yes, I forgot, because yes,
forgot you
that
had-
one is someone.
You forgot you had money there.
Yes, someone is £50, the cent is family.
It's very important you tell us about all the
Yeah,
money,
it's-
sir. I said to you, can you tell me about
How much
all the
money
money?
you carry?
Then you remembered you had more money in this bag. Now you've remembered you have more money in the coat. Do you have any more cash on you anywhere? Any more on your person?
No, just this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Right. In your wallet there, do you have your national insurance card?
Yes, I have it.
Yeah, can I see it, please?
The man's dishonesty is ringing alarm bells.
Now, have you put your tax return in last year?
Last year?
Or this year?
Last year, no.
It's just
now.
a yes or no question. Did you put your tax return?
No, last year is
No.
in the party.
Have you ever been arrested by the police or customs? No, never
Who's
been in
travelling
trouble?
to Scotia?
No, that's good, sir.
After confessing to not having completed a tax return, officers will conduct background checks on the passenger for further information.
I'm working a long time.
As long as you've done everything right, everything will be fine. But can you take your money belt off just now, sir, and just show me all the money that's in the money belt you have?
Yes.
With the threat of losing his money, the passenger is starting to get upset with the interrogation. Reluctantly, he shows the contents of his money belt.
And in here, you say you have £3,000.
Yeah, £3,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the money here is not bank wrapped, sir. So is
Yeah.
it this money you've taken from your shop?
Yes, shop, yeah. No, it's fine.
Take a seat down there, mate. You'll be all right.
As the last passengers board the flight, the suspected tax evader looks unlikely to be leaving the country with his cash. In Gatwick, the Rasta passenger is being decidedly candid.
So as a Rasta then, do you use cannabis?
Yeah, I use cannabis, but I don't have none neither. But I want to find traces of cannabis, because I smoke cannabis. But no other drugs. I don't deal with crack and cocaine.
That's fine.
We also ban it. We have the
That's
money in the
absolutely
Royal Bank
fine.
of Scotland, so we're not transfer drugs and push drugs.
But you see, where you say that you're a reggae artist, okay? So where you do that, there could be people there who smoke drugs and smoke
with me, Mama, man.
cocaine.
And I'm clean.
Yeah, but do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand
Yeah?
what you're saying.
So you could have picked up traces of drugs from
Yeah,
there.
but
You wouldn't know that you'd done it.
It's very hard for a label my lady like that, you know? You understand?
Officer Hazel takes the man's suitcase to the X-ray, but her colleague Sam thinks she might have worked out what's causing the high traces of cocaine.
We just have to check your partner, but what I think is happening is because of the drugs you're taking, it's reacting for the cocaine test. And that's probably all it is.
I've never even seen cocaine. I don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah, but that's what it is. I think that's what it is. It's because you've got really strong medication. And I think that's where it is, because you're taking it. When you sweat, it goes into your pores, and then it goes onto your clothing, then you're putting your clothing in your suitcase. And that's what's contaminating it.
Hazel's search of the man's suitcase comes back clear as well.
Okay. That's fine.
You okay, princess?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm all Chris, man. Everything Chris.
Despite the questioning, the couple are happy to accept that it's been a necessary interrogation by the officers.
Yeah. Thank you for being understanding. Sorry for delaying you. Okay? Right, bye-bye.
He was fine because I sprang him out the queue and he was absolutely fine. He was charming, chatty, and the minute that you mention drugs, cocaine specifically, he was not happy at all. He's Rastafarian, and to my understanding they use cannabis and don't have much to do with cocaine, but he got quite cross up here, but then he called me princess, so I figured it wasn't too bad. Nobody ever calls me princess.
I think they felt better when I said I think it's the medication.
Yeah.
In Birmingham, officers have just minutes to decide what to do with the man carrying over £4,000 in cash. Having lied about the amount of money he was carrying, background checks have been conducted, which have brought up more lies.
Do you know what being arrested is?
Not arrested.
No. You've never been arrested?
No.
Right. Well, our records show differently, sir. And our records also show you had goods seized at this airport as well. You said you'd never been in trouble with customs? No, you don't remember that either? No. OK, just wait for the...
The PNC's got checks coming back for bringing in cigarettes into Birmingham Airport. 1,400, that was last year.
Despite his previous offences, today the main concern is the £4,000 in cash, which may be illegal income. Having failed to pay any taxes for the previous 2 years, officers decide to seize the money as they suspect him of tax evasion.
There is money, it's not money, no any money.
We haven't got time now to talk about the money, but you need to make a decision on whether you're going to travel or whether you're going to stay here to answer further questions in relation to the money and miss your flight. That's your decision. You're free to go, but the money's not free to go. You understand?
You can miss your flight and stay to speak with us, and you won't be flying today, or you
No
can
flight today.
or you can go on the flight now, but your money will be staying here and will go before the magistrate in 48 hours. So you have to make a decision, sir. Do you want to fly or do you want to stay?
Reluctantly, he hands over all of his cash.
I don't want to handle the cash.
His case will go to court, and he'll have the chance to appeal the seizure when he returns to the UK.
And that's the reasons why the money's been taken from me, OK? Thank you.
With just seconds to spare, the man and his wife catch their flight, minus their cash.
If we hadn't done the last check about what taxes he'd paid, what benefits he'd been claiming, he would have been on that flight with that money. Because we did the check, we found out he hadn't paid his taxes, which therefore is a proceed of crime. So therefore his money's gone.